Welcome back to Season 3 of Red Wolf Roundtable, everybody. Hello, I'm Tristan Harlan. You already know who I am. The guy to my right, my good friend, my good compadre, my brother from another mother, my partner in crime, Cooper, the Juice Box Melder. And Cooper, how you doing on this beautiful day?
Oh, I'm feeling juicy more than ever. First week back, Red Wolf Roundtable, and you know what? College football's on its way. It's like Christmas Day.
It's slowly approaching, but Cooper, for those of you that haven't paid attention to us over the summer on social media, we did hire some new faces to come back and help us carry the Red Wolf Roundtable name. So before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and send it to our news desk and introduce our new people on camera.
Hello everyone, my name is Hannah Hatfield. I'm a sophomore here at Arkansas State, and I'm the news desk analyst for Red Wolf Roundtable. And here is what's new in A-State athletics. This past weekend, the Arkansas State volleyball team went 3-0 in their invitational tournament. The first game against the Little Rock Trojans was a sweep, beating them in 3 sets. Helzer and Sayring leading the team in the first set. Helzer having 13 kills, which was a match high, and Sayring followed close behind, having 8 kills, leading the way for the Red Wolf to win 26-24. In the second set, G. Wheeler had a game-sealing ace, keeping the Red Wolves on the top 25-17. In the third set, the Red Wolves scored in an 18-5 lead, ending the set at 25-13. In the second match against Louisiana Tech, Arkansas State had another sweep, beating them 3-0. Madigan had led the offense with 35 assists, 11 of which Helzer slammed on the ground, leading the team with 11 kills and 13 digs. The first set ending in 25-22. In the second set, freshman Maloney set the tone by having 2 aces. Hollingshead's presence was made known after having 5 kills to assist the team in 25-15 win of set 2. Leading the team, Helzer, Sayring, and Hollingshead had 8 of the final 11 points of 3 sets. Howell pulled up 5 kills to another Red Wolf victory, winning 25-23. Slaying undefeated with the Arkansas State volleyball team went 3-2 against North Alabama. During the game against North Alabama, Arkansas State picked up 92 digs, the most being 93 digs in 2021 at Little Rock. Madigan had the most assists by an A-State setter since 2015, picking up 57, also adding 20 digs, being a match best. Martinez had 18 digs, with Maloney giving 15 digs. Glentz had 4 blocks, which was a team high. Hollingshead added another 3 for the team defensively. In the first set, Hollingshead led the team with a personal record of 15 kills. North Alabama going on a 6-1 run, ending the game at a loss for the Red Wolves, 25-21. In the second set, Arkansas State took the lead thanks to another block kill, leading 20-15, the set ending to tie the game 25-23. Madigan aces 2, ending the third set with another win for the A-State Red Wolves, 25-22. Striking back, North Alabama ended the fourth set, taking away A-State's 4-point advantage with a win, 25-20. Hollingshead leads the way for a Red Wolf win, finishing the game with a kill, winning 15-13. Helzer was named tournament MVP, leading the team with 13 kills and 16 digs. How do you think that the volleyball team is going to progress this season?
I truly think that they're going to do very well this season. They are very young. Their chemistry is great. The girls are gelling together, and it was just very exciting to watch them this weekend. I'm very excited to see what they do.
Do you think that they're going to keep this energy going onto the road?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Like I just said, they are very young, and they're energetic, and they want to be there. They're buying into what Coach Gerwig is saying, and I'm very excited to see how they buy into his vision. And with that being said, hey everybody, I'm James Lowry. I'm super excited to be here and be a part of this fantastic team. I'm a graduate student here at Arkansas State University. Now let's jump into some A-State soccer. ASU versus Jackson State. On Thursday, the Red Wolves hosted the Jackson State Tigers. A-State was leading by a score of 2-1 at the half. However, due to excessive heat temperatures, officials were forced to call the game as a no contest midway through the match. They ruled these conditions after discussing it with the appropriate personnel. Now on to ASU versus UCA. Moving on with more A-State women's soccer. The Lady Red Wolves traveled to the campus of Central Arkansas to take on the Lady Bears on Sunday. This matchup would finish in a draw, a little over 2 minutes into the contest. Emma Riley scored a goal to give A-State a 1-0 lead, which was her first of the season. UCA then scores in the 7th and 33rd minute of the game, taking a 2-1 advantage. The Red Wolves would then score again to equalize the score 2-2 at the half. Aaliyah Williamson would score that second goal for ASU, which made that her 13th of her career. With that goal, she is tied for the sixth most in program history, and her 30th career point is tied for 8th most all time. How crucial is Williamson and Emma Riley's play for the Red Wolves this season?
I believe that Williamson and Riley's are key players to the soccer team's offense. If we don't have them on the field, throughout this season, we're not going to progress as much, I feel like.
Do you feel like they are the striking force for our offense and even our defense?
Oh, yes, for sure. They're bringing a lot to the table.
Well, Tristan, we take it back to you guys.
Cooper, going back on what they said, it was a great, exciting weekend to start the athletic calendar for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. The volleyball team, for the first time since I do believe 2015, are able to start the year 3-0, which is a master improvement compared from last year.
Yes. I mean, I was about to hit on it. After last season, new head coach hire, you're thinking, gosh, could this season get any worse? I remember we were talking about it last year, just volleyball, they're losing again and again. But next thing you know, we come out, start the season strong, 3-0. That's all you can do. Win your games. And if you can have a couple non-conference victories, it for sure brings momentum going into conference play where it really starts to matter. And soccer, 1-1. I mean, I'm counting 2-1 because we were going to beat Jackson State.
Right. It goes to the thing of where you want to look at the soccer team and how they started the year. They can't control the heat.
No.
It's been brutal. I mean, we started the first week of class, and it was one of those things where I looked at you our first day of sportscasting and was like, man, this heat is unbearable. The humidity's terrible. Just how dry it's been.
Oh, I mean, just waking up, walking to class, you're having to take another shower by the time you get to the Union just for breakfast. I mean,
Right.
It's wild.
But Cooper, we do got a lot of exciting stuff going on this episode, and we're going to dive into a little bit of that later. But Cooper, going back to soccer real quick, how exciting is this kind of road stand going to be for them when they take on the Kansas State Hawks?
It's going to be a big win, but we're going to have to send it right to break. You've been watching Red Wolf Roundtable.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love.
Yeah, I was just
Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable, and now, Cooper, it's time to dive into the most exciting sport of the year.
Yes.
And that is some good old college football. And, it was announced today in the press conference that we were actually able to go to that we have a new QB1. And, Cooper, who is that QB1 going to be?
The QB1, JT Strout, the
Whoa!
transfer from Colorado.
That was an exciting announcement from Coach Jones in the press conference today. A lot of people were discussing, was it going to be him or was it going to be Jackson Daly? But in my honest opinion, I think Coach Jones made the right call.
And what Coach Jones was saying in the press conference, because literally the first question asked was, who's QB1? Coach, we have to know. And he kind of chuckled. He was like, I kind of figured this was coming. I was waiting to see a fight over the microphone. And he basically went on to say, he was like, there's not just one quarterback. You need more than 11 guys to win a football game. But first and foremost, JT Strout, he's going to be QB1 to start at Oklahoma. Now, Jackson Daly could end up making his way to the roster. I mean, I hope we don't have to have another year with James Blackman and Lane Hatcher, because if you don't have a set QB1, things can go downhill quickly.
Yeah, Cooper, and before we dive into, this season and exciting trip that we got coming up this weekend, let's go ahead and review the 2022 season.
Yes.
I mean, let's just be honest. It was a very disappointing season at most. It wasn't an exciting season, but it wasn't an overconfident, terrible season. I mean, yeah, they didn't win as many games as they wanted to, but at the end of the day, that poses the question, which we're going to get into some stats here in a second, but it's going to pose the question, is Butch Jones going to get in the hot seat? But I want to read some stats off for you guys before we dive into that discussion. So 4 games from last season that should have been victories, okay? Texas State, Old Dominion, Memphis, and Louisiana should have been, those should have been the 4 victories that we should have got very easily, okay? Now you're looking at James Blackman. And you're thinking, James Blackman, he looked a little stiff all season last season. He couldn't run the ball when he wanted it to. He couldn't force the ball down the field. He got sacked 36 times, and he never really seemed comfortable in that offense. But it's crazy. So hear this stat, okay? And I saw this earlier on ESPN, that they were 9th in the conference with their total amount of passing yards, which Butch Jones has said this countless of times in his press conference, that the Sun Belt is an aired out conference. It's not the true pound to the ground like it used to be. And that leads me on to my next point. Of the amount of yards that were allowed, 2,912 of those were through the air, which if you're a mathematician and you add it all up, I did the math. So
Okay.
someone correct me, okay. So through the amount of yards that were given up through the air, 59.9% of the yards were those of the passing game, and 40.09% of those of the yards that were given up were on the ground. Now, when you're looking at the defensive side of things, Arkansas State's defense gave up 377 points on average. On average, when they played their opponents, they were giving up 31.4. So you're thinking of that, and you're thinking, Tristan, you're not a math guy. You had a D in college algebra, and you barely passed by the skin of your teeth. What do you know about statistics? Well, let me tell you something, brother. Okay, when you look at it, you're thinking, how can Butch Jones recuperate in year 2, and how can he get to that bowl game? Well, let's look at some of the stats for Coach Jones real quick before we preview the 2023 season. When it comes to Butch Jones in year 3 at all the stops that he has made, Central Michigan and Tennessee, he has had a successful year in those year 3. In fact, he's 30-9 during his year 3. Now, you're looking at the stats for Arkansas State. 5-19, not really too hot, but when you're coming into a situation that Butch Jones were brought into, it's kind of expected. I mean, when Blake Anderson left, the team really wasn't doing hot. Then you had the COVID year, the last year of Blake Anderson, and now Coach Jones is kind of trying to rebuild in his vision of what this team should be.
Yeah, and also Coach Jones mentioned in the press conference, Arkansas State comes in as the 3rd youngest team in all of college football. So you're talking about new players not even seeing the field for the first time, coming out there against Oklahoma. You're talking about a brand new team. And he was saying some of the best teams in college football, you look at them, they're seniors, they're juniors, they're older teams. But if we can have a transfer quarterback that has the experience from going from Tennessee to Colorado to now Arkansas State, we could see something happen. And according to CBS Sports, it was in your graphic, Butch Jones, they're saying he's on the hot seat. Is he going to need a bowl game here? 6-6? Is it 6 wins or bust for Butch Jones, or are we going to need 5?
Well,
Is 5 enough?
Cooper, I'm glad you're bringing that argument up, but let's save that for when we dive more into the 2023 season, just for sake of so we can keep it all on the same page.
Okay.
Let's talk about the running back position real quick. I mean, we got time. We got time to kill. So let's go ahead and talk about the running back position. And we don't do this a lot, but 2 quick shout-outs since we're about to talk about the NFL a little bit. Shout-out to Blake Group. He did just get named the starting kicker for the New Orleans Saints. Shout-out Who That Nation, baby. Will Lutz is actually getting traded to the Denver Broncos, so good for him. And the thing that makes me bring up my next topic about the running back is the whole running back saga that happened over the summer in the NFL with Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, guys like that. So I want to ask you this, Cooper, since you're a football guy, you've played football,
Yes.
Your dad coached football, your brother coaches football, you come from a football family.
I do.
When it comes to today's day and age, I want to start us here. In today's day and age, with how heavy offenses are when they pass the football, is the running back position as important as it once was, or have you seen some of the value of the position dipped over the past 5 years?
I think it's more important than ever right now. I think you're going to see it transition kind of to more back in the day, a bigger power style running back, because with all the passing that's going on in today's college football, you need a bigger running back to pick up that linebacker that's coming through the middle on a blitz. You need that bigger running back to pick up the DN that's coming off the edge. And I really think having two running backs that you can rely on right now in college football is huge, because you also need that receiving back. You need that smaller Darren Sproles type guy to get out in the backfield and be able to catch it, make a move in open field, and get some yards. You're seeing a running back transform from more of a pass blocker and a pass catcher, and really the run game's only big if you are running that pro option type offense, which A-State spread style, we want to air it out, kind of like Mike Leach did, RIP to him. He's really transformed the game.
Right, and you look at it, and you're thinking about it real quick, and you're thinking, so what does this mean for Arkansas State? Okay, so for example, last season there was two primary running backs for this team. One was Johnny Lang, and the other was Brian Snead. Brian Snead, who's actually the third string on this depth chart for the running back position. But when you look at if you look at last season, because that's all we have to go off on right now, Arkansas State ranked in the bottom 3 of all Division I teams when it came to rushing yards. And just for a little bit of context, the defending national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, had 3,080 yards, and they were still ranked 7th in the nation. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, that's a lot of rushing yards. How does that translate to the Arkansas State Red Wolves? So when it comes to the Arkansas State Red Wolves, there hasn't been a primary dense position for the running back position since the 2019 season, which, that was kind of the last season for success for the Red Bulls. But I bring this up to say this. The Red Bulls have 6 different options to choose from at the running back position. They have Jaquez Cross from Purdue. They have Zach Wallace from Benton that you're really excited to see play. And you have Brian Snead as well. Those are just 3 options that I mentioned there. So I'm going to be interested to see if they kind of run what the Saints did back in the day when they had Deuce McAllister and Reggie Bush, kind of that 1-2 spot where you have one speed back that can catch the ball in the flat, and then you have that one power back that can really punch the ball home when you're on the 3rd and short and you're on the goal line position.
And speaking real quick just about rushing, they only average 88.2 yards per game. We need to at least see 105 yards per game if we want success.
Right, Cooper. Well, you make a lot of good points. And, guys, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to dive more into the 2023 season. Stick around, guys.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to West Side football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to dive more into the 2023 season, see what we like, see what we don't like, and see what game is really that one game that we circle on our calendar saying this game is going to define the season. So, Cooper, looking at the 2023 season, I'll let you go ahead and go first since I am a gentlemanly man. I am a man of God. I'll let you go first. What game on your calendar are you circling with red and blue markers saying this is the game that will define the 2023 season for the Red Wolves?
Oh, I think you already know where I'm going. Week 2 at Centennial Bank Stadium, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 6 p.m., ESPN Plus. Give me the Arkansas State Red Wolves versus the Memphis Tigers. Take that T away, put an L, because Memphis Tigers, they're our biggest rivals. And last year, that game right there made or break the season. And it's going to do it again. You have Oklahoma week 1. Unless we win, we're not going to really see the true Red Wolves. This is a tune-up game for everyone. This is, all right, we're going to work on this, work on that. But Memphis week 2, everyone needs to be there because that's going to define the season. You can say what you want about the rest of the conference schedule, but Memphis week 2, it's on. It's on.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper, you make a good point, and I'm gonna agree with you on that game, because that game, as I said last year, is the game that is the one non-conference game that we have on the schedule that truly is a test on how good this football team is. The Oklahoma game is kind of the same realm as the Ohio State game last year. We know realistically, unless something crazy happens, that game's an automatic L. That's just a money game. That's just a blood money game. So let's go ahead and move it on. Let's go ahead and enjoy the trip and move on to some real football. Now, the thing about the rivalry is, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, but the rivalry in the past, I want to say 10-ish years to 15-ish years, has taken a break for 3 years and then another 3 years. So this game actually, and I'm sure I'll get grilled if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but this game this year is going to be the last time Memphis and Arkansas State play each other for a couple of years. They're going to take their annual break. So now it is more important than ever that we got to beat the Kitty Cats at home. We have got to take the Memphis Tigers, and we got to show Seth Hennigan who really is the boss. Because right now, I think Memphis is on a 6-game winning streak against us, so we got to turn it around and show our fans that show up for that first game that Arkansas State is going to be serious this season about pushing for a bowl game. Now, you look at the rest of the season, you're going to see the next home game, Stony Brook, and you're thinking, who is Stony Brook? And the only reason why I know who they are, and I'm going to be honest with you, is because they beat LSU back in the day in the NCAA regionals back, I want to say it was 2012, because we were at B-Dubs. It was my dad, my mom, and myself, and I was seeing LSU lose to Stony Brook. I still don't know who they are. But that's going to be, another tune-up game. It's going to be kind of like
a Grambling State game
exactly. Then we're going to move into more conference deal, which Sun Belt Conference play is going to be tough because we all know James Madison, they're going to try to do what they did last year.
But they're not eligible.
Exactly. So, and then Troy and South Val, they're going to try to do the same thing they did last year. So what really matters to the Arkansas State Red Wolves this season is, can they do what they want to do against Memphis? Because if they do what they want to do against Memphis, then they'll have all the confidence in the world. But going back to what we were talking about earlier, is Butch Jones on the hot seat? Okay, so we had a little bit of information already said, and let's go ahead and run back through it just in case anybody missed out on that. So in year 3, while he was at his previous stops, Tennessee and Cincinnati and Central Michigan, he's 30-9. Okay, 5-19 at Arkansas State in the past 2 seasons isn't ideal for a head coach, but it is what it is. And in the past 2 seasons since he's been here, he has had, I think, if not the number 1 recruiting class, then he has had a top 5.
Yeah.
So the thing with this is, and I kind of have a little bit of question with this, is the lack of attendance part of the reason why Coach Jones just can't seem to win football games?
I mean, it very much could be. I mean, there's been games where it's been close at home that we have let slipped away, like the James Madison game last year. It got out of hand because I was down on the field, and it felt like the James Madison fans were a lot louder than the home crowd. You're talking about a team far East Coast coming all the way to Jonesboro, Arkansas, being more louder than our home fan. And due to the fact you have to put out wins on the field, you have to bring the production in practice onto the field, we haven't been able to get a good fan base coming up. And that's why the week 2 game against Memphis is huge, because everyone, the Oklahoma game is, if you lose, it's oh well. If you win, it's whippy, but
whippy. Cooper's word of the day.
The Memphis game, if we can get a nice crowd there to see, all right, what do the Red Wolves have this year, and win it, then you'll see attendance start to boost up. We have 3 straight home games starting at Memphis.
Right. Yeah, and it goes back to the point. 3 straight home games after Memphis. What can the Red Wolves do to really nip it in the bud as soon as possible? Because, just reflecting on that Memphis game from last year like we did earlier, that fumble at the tail end of the game was kind of that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
The crowd got into it. That was a loud crowd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were sitting there on the field, and I was fortunate enough to be sitting closer to the student section, and they were yelling things, and of course I'm yelling things back because I'm a little crazy like that. But it's just the thing that I want to understand is, can we fill the stands if we beat Memphis? Okay. The next question I have is, who has the hotter chair? Okay, and this goes back to the Butch Jones thing. Who has the hotter chair right now? If you're those that make those
Okay.
decisions. We're not going to name drop just for sake of we don't want to, get in trouble. So who has the hotter seat right now? Keith Heckendorf or Butch Jones? Answer me that.
Now, I would say Keith just because of money-wise.
Okay.
We all know how athletics is here at Arkansas State. I'm not going to say anything, but let's just say we don't have the best much money in the world. So that's all I'm going to say because it's week 1 of Red Wolf Roundtable, and I don't want us to get thrown off air.
Oh, Cooper, I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, it's week 1, and you're already throwing shots.
But I'm just saying, I know we're going to get into more of this, but I'm just going to bring it out since we're talking about money. Since we're going to Oklahoma week 1, you know how much they're paying us?
How much they paying? Are they paying us like Red Wolf
No, but
Roundtable?
I wish.
Oh.
I'd be so happy, but they're paying Arkansas State $1.35 million.
Ooh-wee. They gonna pay for my tuition too?
Hey, I got my tuition free this semester. All you got to do is hit a half-court shot, apparently.
Hey, look, I'm practicing.
Okay.
But looking down the line at more games, realistically, where do you see this season going? What do you think the record's gonna be?
Okay, I'm going to give my homer prediction.
Oh God.
I'm going to go 7-5.
Okay.
Homer prediction 7-5. Realistic prediction 5-7.
5-7. Okay, that's one game improving from last season.
Two game. We went
Yeah,
3.
three. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I told you guys I'm not good at math. But my homer prediction is going to be. I think we're going to sneak out with 8 wins.
Okay, 8-4.
We're going 8-4, and then realistically, I'm still on the 6-game hype train.
Okay.
I'm still on the 6-game
Bowl or
hype
bust?
train. Bowl or bust. That's
Okay.
that's where I'm going. Win against Memphis, win against Stony Brook, and then you open up conference play, and you have some of those games that you should have won last year.
Southern Miss, we should have beat
Yeah,
them.
you have Southern Miss at home where you're going to play them. Should have beat them last year. And then a lot of those games are, and it goes back to last year too. A lot of these games they're not good.
No.
Frank Gore Jr. is a mastermind when it comes to being a tailback. But the thing is what's it going to take for the Arkansas State Red Wolves to really say, okay, we're tired of losing. We're tired of being the butt end of everybody's jokes when it comes to the Sun Belt. When's Ethan Hassler going to wake up and become the monster that he was at Collierville?
Yeah.
He arguably was Kevon Bennett's little brother, the number 2 guy on the defensive side, and then we're still giving up as many rushing yards as they are. How many times are we going to see the opponent run a 99-yard touchdown to end the game and sneak out of Centennial Bank Stadium with a win? I'll just go ahead and throw this out here. For calling the stadium the Vault, apparently a lot of people got the keys to it because,
We ain't locking nothing up.
We ain't locking nothing up. If we're locking something up, then apparently you need to get a new lock because everybody's got the key.
Like you're saying, if we go back to last year, talking about games we should have won, Old Dominion, we looked at the stats earlier. We gave up 7 sacks and lost by 3.
Right. And like I said, I don't know what it's going to boil down to. I'm not the coach. I can't tell you what the decisions are going to be. But what I can tell you is this. It's going to be an exciting season. It's going to be an interesting season. And a lot of things are going to be learned in the first 3 weeks that they were of Red Bull football history. We have a history of dominance. We have a history of winning. When's it going to change? But for that, we're going to send it to break again. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Oklahoma game. You guys are watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
At Arkansas State, we want you to go. Go where learning soars, takes flight, and rockets ahead. Go for experiences, internships, and scholarships. We want you to go. Become A-State Maine. Are you ready to go? Go.astate.edu for details. At Arkansas.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
Welcome back to ASU-TV here for Red Wolf Roundtable. Cooper, now it's time to preview the first game of the season, the game that we're getting to go to again. They're letting us go back on the road.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Norman, Oklahoma. Hey, it's a shorter drive. I'm grateful for that. I heard that maybe we'll get another juice box. I'm praying for another juice box on the way.
Juice box getting his juice box. But Cooper, let's go ahead and preview the game a little bit. And interesting enough, this year, look at what we got on this graphic. Okay, we got the betting odds. We got the betting odds and the over and under. We're officially a sports show now, baby. But if you're looking at these stats here, Oklahoma, they had the better year. We went 3-9. They went 6-7. They are in every statistical category. They're absolutely mopping the floor with us. But let me tell you why this game is going to be interesting, okay? 6-7, second-year head coach. We've all seen how second-year head coaches do. And especially in today's day and age, don't rule out. I'm not saying we're going to win, but I'm saying don't rule out the upset.
Don't count us out.
Because last time we played a Big 12 school, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was against Kansas State in 2020. And the 2020 season, we didn't have a lot of wins, but Kansas State sure was one of them.
Oh, we beat them 35-31. And speaking of A-State versus the Big 12, we're only 2-15. But we're 2-1 in our last 3 meetings. But the bad thing is Oklahoma comes in 6-0 versus the Sun Belt. And we're 0-2 versus Oklahoma all time. And I think they outscored us 106, was it, to 7?
Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right. But, you know, that game for Arkansas State against Kansas State, a little bit of knowledge for those of you that don't remember, was really dominated by the receiving core that Arkansas State had at the time, and Logan Bonner and a young Lane Hatcher. Now, we don't have Logan Bonner or Lane Hatcher here anymore, but let me tell you who we do have. We have a rock star back, okay?
We do.
He was at South Carolina last season. Now he's back playing his guitar. He's doing Corey Rucker things, and yes, I'm talking about Corey, the main man Rucker. Corey Rucker is back at Arkansas State. We covered a little bit of last year before we went on summer break, but now Corey Rucker's back, and he has Jeff Foreman with him. And he has a somewhat of an upgrade at quarterback than what he had when he was here before. So you're looking at 2021 season stats, and you may be asking, Tristan Cooper, why are we looking at 2021 stats? That was almost 2 years ago now. Well, here's why. Because in 2020, he didn't have as good a stats as he does now. And in 2022, he really didn't play at South Carolina because he was hurt. So this is what we're looking at. 59 receptions, 816 yards, 9 touchdowns, 13.8 yards on the average. Now, you may be asking, what's so significant about the 2021 season for Corey Rucker? Well, let me tell you a little something, brother. Let me talk to you.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm listening.
So Corey Rucker broke a lot of records at Arkansas State while he was here. He broke season game touchdown. He either broke it or tied it. Season game or single game in a season yards. Sorry, words are hard sometimes, especially when you're hype as I am for this Oklahoma game. But Corey Rucker comes back in as kind of the team leader. You know, when Coach Jones came in, he didn't really see eye to eye, so he went for better opportunities. And at the end of the day, he's still an SEC level receiver.
He still is. I mean, he went to South Carolina. He got injured, didn't really get to show what he was really made of. And you know what? He knew Jonesboro was home for him. He knew he had to come back. But now, how is he going to perform playing with basically 4 different quarterbacks? He played with James Blackman, Lane Hatcher, Spencer Rattler, now JT Stroud. That's 4 quarterbacks in, what, 2 seasons?
Roughly. But the thing is, and this kind of goes into what Arkansas State can do to avoid the blowout at Oklahoma. If they find Corey Rucker in stride, I'm saying when he makes his route, when he hits his route, and he's still open down the sideline, or if they run a jet sweep or something with him, if Corey Rucker gets in the stride, I don't think anybody on the Oklahoma defensive side of the ball is going to be able to catch him. Unless he gets tripped up or something, or he hits the wrong hole, then I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch up to Corey Rucker.
Yeah, and Butch Jones also said that the QB1 decision was made because of the wide receivers. He was talking about Corey Rucker. He wasn't saying, when looking at who's going to be wide receiver 1, who's going to be our number 1 target, he said it's not the person who's making the big plays, going out there one-handed catch. the consistency. He was talking about consistency the entire time during the press conference with the O-line, the running back, the quarterback, the wide receivers. It was all about who can be that guy every single down, and he said Corey still has that dog in him. And him and JT, they may have that connection. Who knows? We're going to find out week 1 what that connection really is.
Right. And Cooper, I do want to pose the question for you since we're talking about the Oklahoma game. What does the Red Bulls need to do to not make it a blowout early?
Okay, I mean, we're going to have to do what we did at Ohio State, get the crowd out of it. If we go back to the Ohio State game, it was 17-9, I think it was, going into halftime. It was an 8-point game. Who was their quarterback at Ohio State? C.J. Stroud, second pick in the draft. We were going toe-to-toe with the number 4 team in the country, and we did that by playing A-State brand of football. We got them off of the field. We bent, but we didn't break. We forced them to kick field goals, and to keep the crowd out of it on big third downs, we kept getting first downs and keeping the drive alive. And you have to limit the big plays. You can't have them come out first play and throw an 80-yard bomb for a touchdown. You can't let them go 99-yard kickoff return. If you limit the big plays and play your defense, you might have a chance.
Right. And, you know, the big thing is the offensive line.
Yes.
How can the offensive line improve from last year? I mean, we mentioned it from last season. We mentioned it a while back. 36 sacks James Blackman suffered. Mm-hmm. He actually has minus 147 rushing yards on last season due to the fact of how many times he got sacked. So, Cooper, the question posed to you is, after the press conference today, how confident are you in the offensive line?
I mean, of course they're not going to bash their team in the press conference week 1. I'm still iffy on it. You never know. They're saying we did improvement, this and that, but we are a younger team. I'm just going to have to wait and see week 1, week 2. I'm still iffy on them. The questions, I'm not buying in just yet on them. But at the same time, we'll just have to wait till Oklahoma comes around and see how they can really perform, if they can pick up their assignments and play football for all 4 quarters, because they were talking about how they were only a first-half team. We saw many games where we were doing tremendously in the first half, and just Southern Miss, Old Dominion, gave it away in the second half. So if we can play 2 halves of football, we might have a chance.
Right, and, the thing with taking the crowd out of it, it's less people than that was at Ohio State.
Yes.
But, before we get too carried away, let's see what the group has to say about the game. So, James, Hannah, what are you guys thinking about the Oklahoma game?
Go ahead.
Would you like to start it off, James?
No, ladies first. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So, honestly, I'm probably going to go with the oddball answer and say Arkansas State University. I only say this because I like to back the team that I'm supporting and representing, so what's up?
I get that. Yes, Wolves up. But I'm going to be realistic here. We're going against a Big 12 Power 5 school. So I'm going with the Oklahoma Sooners. I definitely agree with Cooper and Tristan. If we keep the crowd out of it and we just play Arkansas State football, we can keep the game close. But Oklahoma, I mean, they've won many championships. It's a storied program. So we're not going to get the win this year, but we are going to get those Memphis Tigers. So,
Hannah, I want to pick on you for a second. You said you just want to support the school that you go to. That's not the answer I want. Why is Arkansas State going to beat them? Is it because they have a better quarterback? Is it because they have a better running back? Why do you think the Red Bulls are pulling up the upset of the century?
Well, Tristan, have you seen them in their workouts this summer?
No.
Ooh.
I've been following their Instagram. I've been looking at all of it.
All right, hold up. So y'all gave me who's going to win. I need score predictions.
Yes.
Give me the score. You know what? We never gave one. I'll give a quick one right now. Off the top of my head, it's going to be 38-21 Sooners.
I'm going 47-38 Sooners.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going 35-20 Oklahoma Sooners.
Okay.
I'm going to say 31-30 Arkansas State University.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
If that happens, I will I will rush the field and take my shirt off because I'll already be on the field, but the shirt will be coming off if they do.
Oh, Cooper, if you rush the field with your shirt off, they're never going to let us go anywhere ever again.
Hey, you know what? I don't care. We just beat Oklahoma. I'll have my shirt off. I'm sure you will too.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to blind everybody. Norman, come on now. I'll have my white
they'll
T-shirt.
They'll be crying. They won't be looking at us. They'll be crying like, how the heck did we just lose to the Red Bull?
Well, you got to think, if that game happens that way and Arkansas State wins, then you got to think maybe Oklahoma's playoff chances are up in smoke in week 1.
And what if we go undefeated?
Shut up.
If we win week 1, what if we
Mr. Perkins,
just win
go
all
ahead
of
and
them?
make the meme of Cooper now.
We got plenty of views. It's okay.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
But Josh Pate.
Oh, yeah, Josh Pate. Shout out Josh Pate making fun of me last year. Now, and this is the season he says we're going to go to the bowl game. So we're going to see if
maybe he knows something.
Yeah, we're going to see if the guru of college football, the hopefully one day CFB commissioner, knows what he's talking about. But, Cooper, looking more into the game, like, what's some more things that Arkansas State has to do to, maybe even win the game? Other than playing perfect, because I know that's the easy answer.
Playing perfect, you're going to have to establish the run game. You have your 3 running backs. I want to see Zach Wallace near the red zone. He's 6 foot, 230 pounds of pure muscle bowling ball. I'm going to say it because I've said it all day. I did play against him in high school.
Here we go.
But you know what? I would like to see him succeed, but the running game's going to have to get going no matter what. You can't set the pass up if you can't run the ball, because if you can't run the ball, they know you're going to pass it 9 times out of 10 times, and that's when you can get the play action going if you got the run game. And I'd like to see the read option a lot more. I want to see JT Stroud out in the open field, see what he can do besides really throwing the ball. I want to see him use his legs because James Blackman, he didn't really have a chance to. I want to see our quarterback be mobile.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, the mobile quarterback is such a pivotal part of today's game. You see it in the SEC. You see it in the Big Ten, the ACC. You see it everywhere in college athletics but Arkansas State. James Blackman showed one sign of hope when he had one run here at home. But outside of that, I mean, there wasn't really any quarterback run that we really had. And that's kind of the biggest question mark I have is will Coach Jones and Coach Heckendorf allow our quarterbacks to run the football?
They better, because we only average 88 yards per game. And if you're going to beat big-time schools, you see the teams that beat teams like Alabama and Georgia, if you look at the stats, they were able to run the football. It's just plain and simple. No matter how far the college football world and style of play goes to passing the football, if you can't run the football, I mean, I hate to say it, you're not going to win games, because if you're going to beat big schools, got to establish the run game.
Yeah, so from what I'm getting from you is run the football, limit the mistakes early, and get the crowd of it is your 3 Cooper's keys to watch our West Side Productions. The 3 Cooper keys to winning the football game.
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
I want the Harlan keys to success.
You want the Harlan Hectic ways to success?
Yes.
So let me go ahead and break it down for you real quick. So we already have the mistakes, so I'm not going to piggyback off you. But I will bring this out because I haven't heard anybody say this. Watch for zone coverage against Rucker and Foreman, okay? When you see that, you better throw that underneath to that tight end on the sideline or throw that check down to the running back in the flat, because I'm telling you, if you hit Jaquez Cross in the flat and he gets 15, maybe anywhere from 5 to 15 yards, and you do that over and over again, they're going to want to pull up on their coverage, and then you'll have Foreman and Rucker open for 6.
Okay.
It's simple as that. It's simple thugonomics. John Cena, shout out. But when you have that, it's going to open up your offense tremendously. My good friend would once say. But once you see that, you don't want to, on the defense side of the ball, you don't want Oklahoma to convert on third downs. Outside of that, don't spend more than 4 seconds in the pocket, because the longer you spend in the pocket, the more you expose your offensive line to show their weakness. So when it gets to week 6, then teams will know, hey, go ahead and knock that out. But Cooper, this has been a great first episode.
Oh, it has been. It's been tremendous.
It has been. So guys, this has been it for the first episode of Red Wolf Roundtable. When we come back next week, you'll hear everything from Oklahoma. Stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.